So hello and welcome to our very first episode of Squid Tips. This series kind of came about because I wanted to share a few of the day-to-day tips and tricks that I've learned from being on the road every day on the bike, and hopefully some of them will be useful to you, and if not, then you can completely ignore them. So today's episode we're going to be talking about what to do when you're standing at a complete standstill on a motorbike. Exciting, riveting stuff, you know? Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. There we go. Oh, good. So the very first tip is stay in first gear. Always. Don't go down into neutral, don't switch the engine off. I mean, why would you do that? Stay in first gear, keep your clutch in, and be ready to pop out that clutch and maneuver if necessary. Because what can happen when you're at a stoplight or a stop sign or just waiting to merge into traffic is the cars behind you won't see you, and they can run right into you. So if you can see someone coming up behind you and not stopping, it just gives you a fighting chance, right, to be able to actually maneuver out of the way. But if you're in neutral, by the time you see it, by the time they get to you, by the time you react, they're gonna have already hit you, you know? There's just no chance. You don't stand a chance if you're in neutral. So keep it in first. Some of you might complain about how hard that is on your left hand, constantly keeping the clutch in. It's just good exercise for your left hand, right? Just like this. I've got my clutch in, ready to maneuver at any point in time. So our second tip of the day is make sure you use your mirrors when you're at a complete stop. Doesn't matter if you're in first gear. If you don't see the car coming up behind you that's not going to be able to stop in time, you're not going to be able to maneuver. So just make sure you're checking your mirrors constantly when you're at a red light or at a full complete stop. The third tip of the day, keep your hand on your brake. Even if you're at a complete stop, both my foot, my back brake, and my hand brake are on right now, even though I'm at a complete standstill. The reason for that is, again, if a car comes from behind and hits you, you don't want to be running straight in front of the car in front of you. Cause more of a pile up than you need to. So our fourth tip is to let off your back brake and lightly tap your front brake so that you let the lights on the back flash up a bit, just to let the cars behind you know that you're there. Because when you're standing still, especially if you're a white motorcycle against a white van in front of you, or vice versa, black against black, it's very difficult for cars to see you spatially, distance-wise, where you are sitting compared to the car in front of them. And it's very easy for them to just rear end you. So that little flashing red light just gives a bit more of an indicator as to where you sit. Here, I'm going to show you real quick what that's like. So in here, rear brake off, tap the front brake like that, and that's just going to give you a flashing light on your rear end to let the cars behind you know that you were there. See, I've got a car, I'm looking at my mirror, I'm on first gear, got a car coming up behind, just quick tap just to let them know that I'm there, and then we're good. And again, if I saw them coming in too hot after I'd given my signal with my rear brake, I've got clear lines right there, I've got clear lines right there, that I can just pop the clutch and move directly into that lane, that middle lane that isn't a lane, just to get myself into a safe spot if I need to. And again, Keep an eye on those mirrors, because those lanes can get filled up with another motorcyclist filtering. So you need to make sure that your exit strategy is actually viable and that you've got a clear line if you need it. So that's it for me today on this episode of Squid Tips. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.